Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game? My name is Christine and Happy New Year! Welcome to January 2025. In this video, I'm going to share some game stats from December as well as from 2024. I have a bit of news to share. I have some New Year's resolutions I made. We're going to talk about some games that came out in December as well as what is going on in crowdfunding. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with my my December game stats. So we played a total of 75 games. From that, we played 31 unique games. And from that, 22 were still new to us games. Games, most of them that I had picked up at PAX. Now, my most played game was Dorfromantik Sakura, and I played it 26 times. Yes, 26 times over about 9 nights. And that's because I wanted to make my way through that campaign to see how long it would take me and that. So I'm going to be posting a video soon about it and telling you without spoilers what the difference is with Sakura versus regular Dorfromantik. However, even though I played that game 26 times, I still think my favorite game I played was Life of the Amazonia. We were playing some older games, and it's still one of my favorite games of all time. But now, when we get to all of 2024, we played 694 games, or at least I did. I played 197 different unique games. And I don't know how many were new to me because it was the first time using the app. So it said every game was new to me, which it wasn't. But still, we played 197 different games last year. And my most played game was tied with My Island, because it's a campaign game, as well as Dorfromantik Sakura, and both were played 26 times. And that is what we were playing last year. So now we'll move on to some news, and the only real news item outside of the channel is that it is time to start prepping for Gen Con. Yes, it is 7 months away. It happens July 31st to August 3rd, but it's never too early to start prepping for Gen Con. I am going to be posting a video this month which gives you 15 tips for prepping and preparing and planning on going to Gen Con, and it's tips for before you go as well as tips once you get there. So watch out for that this month, and as well as sometime in probably mid-February is when registration will open. So it's really great if you are planning on going, register for their newsletter, and you'll get all the updates on all the important dates that will be happening. My next piece of little more channel news now is, so last month I posted 10 games we want to play during the holidays. And so far, I am happy to report we have played 8 of them. We have 2 more games to go, but we still have 5 more days before our holiday break is over. So I think we'll be able to play the final 2 games. So in case you're wondering, did they play those games? We did, and we've been enjoying every single one of them. As well, last month, if you were unaware, we went to PAX Unplugged and we were able to film over 40 videos there. And I always try to tell people, even watch the games that you don't know or hadn't heard of before, because you never know when you're going to find a new, fun, creative game that may not be from a company that's very popular. So, you always have to start somewhere. So I always encourage people, try to watch some of those games, because as we walk the floor, we'll come across some games that we find are interesting. And so we'll film them, but nobody's heard of them. And so the video doesn't get watched as much. And in the end, you're just missing out on what could be a really fun game. And my last piece of news is that it's actually, this month is our first year anniversary. We posted our first video of January 10th of last year. And so I just thought you might want to know. So in the last year, we posted 249 videos. We had over 127.1 thousand views, and you watched for over 6,000 hours. And we ended up, so at this point, we have 1,266 subscribers. And our most viewed video is, should I buy the 4 Everdell expansions? And so I just want to thank all of you for watching and bringing the channel to life and having an audience that we can have fun doing all these videos for. So typically I don't really make New Year's resolutions, but I thought I would make a few relating to games this year. So my first New Year's resolution is to take time to play older games. We just find, because I'm constantly creating content for you, I'm always looking for the newest game, the newest game. And we don't get that chance to play some of those older games. And so that's one thing we really want to do, especially after this break, playing some of these games that we really love and we want to play them more. So one of my resolutions is try to take time to play older games. Now, the next one is to be mindful of future purchases. So previously, when I was making purchases, I had to keep in mind that either I was playing with Mark or myself. But now it's sort of shifted with Gemma moving back home. Now it is games that Gemma and I mostly play, as well as myself, and Mark will pop up on the weekends to play a game with us. And so there's a difference in the games I'm purchasing now because of who I am playing with for the most part. The good thing for me, though, is that Gemma and I think similarly, and we both like to play strategy games. So we'll probably focus more on those type of games. But it's just being mindful, doing some research, and trying to make purchases that we think of, games that we think we will really enjoy. However, you always get those games that you think you're going to really enjoy, and you end up being, it was okay, but not that great. So it's just trying to be mindful of who I'm playing with, who I'm buying the games for this year. And then my last one is on the other side of that, where it's to continue to cull games. So we have a very small space here between this side and the other side. You're seeing the majority of our board game storage. And so I constantly have to be culling. And culling is hard because you've spent money on games and you don't want to get rid of something. But if you're not going to play the game, it's just taking up space in your area and in your apartment or your home. And so I have to really focus on um, how much do we enjoy the game? Is there a game we enjoy more? Are we going to be playing that game? And really focus on having it in me to cull games, even though we really like them, but we just like something more. And so I want to really focus on getting rid of some older games, because you always know that a lot of newer games are coming, especially if you were to see my Kickstarter wish, my list of everything I backed last year. Eventually, all those games are going to be coming in, and I need space for them. So therefore, I want to really focus on culling games and being on top of that this year. So now this segment is typically the top 10 new releases from the previous month. However, with December, I managed to get a top 5 list of new releases. Come the middle of December, everything just started to go on sale and nothing new was coming in. So I picked 5 games that interested me from December releases. And in number 5 is a 2-player game called Solstice. And in this game, there is a picture, and then you are pulling tiles and trying to recreate the photo, and whoever has the most tiles touching wins through different points. And this is a game that looks really interesting. But when I saw the solo mode, which was basically a harder version of playing the 2-person mode, I'm on the edge personally of whether or not to get this game. It's an inexpensive game, but as I previously said, I'm trying to be more mindful of the games I buy. And I just don't know if it's a game personally that I'd play. But if you're looking for a 2-player game, it does look like a fun game. And I know I would enjoy it. I just don't know how often I would play it. But if you're looking for a game for 2 players, you might want to check it out. And it's called Solstice. Next, we have Aqua Pocket Edition. And I had picked this up when we were at Gen Con. And this is a little card game, again, for 2 players. And what makes this game unique is one person is going to score the rows and one person's going to score columns. And so as you're placing your cards down, you're placing them for whichever you're scoring, but at the same time, you're either interfering in the opposite. So like if I place an extra card in a row, it's going to be too high. And the row people can't score that row, but it's okay for my column. So it has just this interesting concept of placing cards, how the points work, and um, scoring it in the two different ways. At number 3, I have Meadow Adventure Book. And I did buy this, and I'm really looking forward to playing it, but I just haven't played it yet. But if you like the game Meadow, replaces the campfire, and it has 6 different elements to it, and it just looks really fun to add to the game. But I have yet to play it. We've been a little busy. At number 2, I have Isle of Cats Duel, and we picked this up when we did play this game. And we have to say, we actually really like this game. Now, we are a fan of Isle of Cats, but the duel takes away the need for, like, do I have enough baskets for cats? Do I have enough fish? With this, it's a grid, and you're moving your player piece around, getting pieces to add into your boat. So it plays very similarly, but just how you're acquiring the cats and how you're acquiring little cards for points at the end of the game works differently. And we just found it a lot tighter of a game. And if you play Isle of Cats with 2 people, you may want to check out Duel. And the last game was Dorfromantik Sakura. And as I mentioned before, I've played this game 26 times already. I've gone through the whole campaign. I've unlocked everything, and I've done everything but 2 of the challenges. So if you like Dorfromantik, you might want to check it out. I just really like, instead of wheat fields, you have rice farms, and instead of like green trees, you have the cherry blossom trees. So it's really nice, and some different elements on the game. And I'm going to be doing a video of that hopefully this month or February. You will see it. So those are the 5 games that I recommend that were released in December. So the last segment is about crowdfunding. And again, we are in the quiet zone. So the one I can report on is Where Am I? Alice in a Mad Tea Party by Japanime Games. Now, this was supposed to enter Game Found on December 17th. They have since posted a thing on that area saying that they're now moving it to BackerKit on January 14th. So if you're looking for Alice, it is moved to BackerKit and will be being released on January 14th. And the only other one that I can find is that A Place for All My Books, which we did a video at PAX for, is going to be coming soon this month on Kickstarter. And that was really all I could find right now for crowdfunding. So hopefully this month a lot will start to pick up and we'll see a lot more games there. And that is our update. So I hope your new year is off to a good start. And we will hopefully have an amazing year with tons of videos. We're going to be going to Gen Con and PAX again this year, we plan to. And we're also, in March, there's a Toronto little convention that I'll go to for a day. It happens for a weekend. It's called Breakout Toronto. So I'll be going to that probably on the Friday. So that's the events we have planned, and then just continuing to make more and more game content to share with all you. So I hope you have a happy new year.